this number.
Warning, the following show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is May 24th, 2009.
What's up? Welcome to World of the Unexplained, the place that you will find explanation, clarity, and certainty in these uncertain times. This is your host, Jay Scott, and sitting beside me is...
T-Dog.
T-Dog Lackey.
No, Trent Lackey. Hello, guys.
And we're coming live to you from North Carolina in a little town called Kernersville, spelled just like it sounds, Kernersville. And we'd like to welcome you to our program if this is your first time listening here on KFNX, News Talk 1100 AM. Lots of stuff to talk about tonight. Our call-in numbers is 877-722-7382. That's toll-free anywhere in the United States and Canada. Number again, 877-SCARE-U2. That's a U and a 2, just the letter U. And tonight we really don't have anything much planned, just a little bit of our normal craziness. So any topic of paranormal interest is available for your listening pleasure.
Okay.
Speaking of paranormal topics or things of conspiratorial topics that we talk about, I did see the film Angels and Demons tonight for $3 at the local Kernersville cinema.
Pretty good deal. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
You know what? When I read that book before, Da Vinci Code, and
I did too.
The way it's set up, it's much more cinematic. It's much more cinematic. You know, the whole plot line about, you know, the antimatter, and you know there's a time issue.
Sure. Yes, it's a click.
Right. It kind of builds suspense, and it also keeps the whole thing moving rather quickly. And I just thought it was a pretty good film. You know, I thought it was better than Da Vinci Code. I mean, I know how Scott feels about the book being a Merovingian conspiracy treatise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, just as far as watchability of the films,
I think it's a better film.
It was just a better film in general.
I do too.
You know?
I do too. Have you seen the new Star Trek?
No,
you have. Chuck saw it too. He told me it was good. Good.
I could have gone back and watched it again.
Could have gone back and watched it again. Okay.
They say it's this generation Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what they say.
It may well be.
It might be, and I think it's cool that they're kind of going back to the
roots.
The roots of it. Yeah.
Well, I like I said though, I did enjoy Angels and Demons. I thought Tom Hanks did a good job.
Yeah, he did. What did you think of the? There were some different points. I remember there were some changes from the book.
You know, it's been so long since I've read the book. I really
Right.
I don't remember any changes.
I do. I'll tell you about them later because I don't want to spoil it for people.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
but they're definitely just very minor. But at the same time, as far as the general plot of the story,
yeah.
You know, I think it worked better actually, the changes they put in the movie as opposed to the book.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming the changes that you're referring to made it better for cinema as far as more action-packed, quick-paced.
Well, I guess, but I mean, I was talking about the story.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I mean, you know, there was one particular instance in the book where I thought, like, oh, come on,
yeah.
You know, but I can't tell you about it because, like I said, I don't want to ruin it for people.
Well, you know what's funny is when I was reading the original book by Dan Brown, Angels and Demons, I actually. It was around the time I'd finished the book, and it was around the time where the Pope did die, Pope John Paul, and I was like, I knew all this stuff and how it was going to go down because he gives you the history of it in the book, the real deal. And so I'm watching it, on CNN. I'm going, I know what's going to happen. I know all this. Y'all don't have to tell me about this. I know how it's going to work.
The flame,
and,
exactly.
The black smoke and the whites.
How they vote for him.
Conclave,
I thought it was really cool. I mean, that's the one thing I'll give Dan Brown for both those books is the fact they're very informative about a number of
different things.
Yeah.
And even the mention of the Illuminati, this organization that may or may not control world affairs. I can even take a neat segue into Alex Jones' latest film on Barack Obama.
Oh, he's got well, I'm not surprised. He's got a film on.
Well, he made like 8 or 9 on Bush. Now it's Obama's turn. But basically, he's saying.
Has he mentioned the Bohemian Grove yet?
I don't. I've only seen about 50 minutes of it. It's on YouTube. You can actually watch it there for
Alex
free.
Jones, what's it called?
I don't remember. Just type in Alex Jones. You'll see it. It's the Obama movie. Or you go to prisonplanet.tv, I think, or
Prison Planet.
I believe that's correct.
PRISON, like a prison.
Google Alex Jones and you'll find it. But
you guys do that. So his stuff is pretty interesting.
It really is.
That one time that he broke into the Bohemian Grove.
That was crazy.
It was crazy.
I'm surprised that man hasn't been killed by some kind of secret government.
Well, maybe their logic is, since no one's listening to him anyway.
We'll keep him. Yeah, we'll keep him. If something did happen to him, it'd be too.
Exactly.
Yeah, by pretending he's crazy, it keeps him alive. Maybe
keeps him alive and discredited. That's a pretty typical concept of conspiratorial worlds.
Sure.
I mean, it's like in the old days, I guess they thought, we'll just kill him. But that was before the internet and worldwide radio and newscasts. And,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? The information was tightly controlled. So, you could totally off a guy that was giving you trouble, and no one hear about it for maybe months or even years. But now, it's going to happen now.
Well, he's been on Nori, and he's been on. He's on Fox News from time to time. CNN is their conspiracy guru, I guess you'd call
the Conspiracy News Network.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Communist News Network anyway. But
I like
that's why I get mine
better.
from the source. Fox News, fair and balanced. So
no, it's not balanced.
It's definitely balanced. More balanced than anything else out there.
Well, I guess so.
Other than my show.
I don't really watch any of that crap because they all have a bias. I'm sorry.
Well, they do.
Yeah, all of them do.
But Fox leans a little to the right, but all these others lean very, very far to the left.
That's fair. Like I said, I don't really watch any of those networks. To be honest with you,
yeah,
I really don't.
Yeah, I understand.
It's difficult.
But let me go back to this whole Illuminati thing. I was tying all this together in a big bow for you. Anyway, the Barack Obama video that Jones made, basically he says that, the Bilderbergers are behind all this, and they're orchestrating the events to sabotage the U.S. economy, to put us all in that North American Union with Canada and Mexico, and they're orchestrating all this behind the scenes. And it's like the secret meeting that him and Hillary Clinton supposedly had was actually, they were there with the Bilderberger people. When they were at this hotel, and he staked out the hotel, the night before, and got people on tape. And all. It's interesting to listen to nonetheless and watch. It's, and he was on the phone, I think, with George Noory, and they turned the smoke alarm on, and everybody's going outside when he was getting all this, right as his interview was, coming on. He's like, I know it's just a setup. This is, right when the phone rang, that's when these things went off, right when your guy got me on the line. So it's just, and then, there's this car supposedly following him and some other things. It was, I don't know.
It's entertaining, to say the least.
It is. It's very entertaining.
I don't know how you feel credibility-wise for it.
I don't know. I'd invited Alex Jones to be a guest on our show years ago, and I never received a response from him.
Invite him again.
No, I may do that. But I left him a voicemail. I think I sent him an email.
I'd love to have that guy on the show.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, very interesting to talk to. I'd love to hear his, his theories. But it's definitely just an idea of this, the man behind the scenes controlling the government like a puppet, basically, all around the world.
Well, I don't know what I think about global.
Dealing with global banking, global.
It's definitely more plausible now, I suppose, than it was maybe 60 years ago.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, one could argue that the United Nations was the first step in trying to move that route. And then that kind of is going, this ain't really working that well. We have to do it a different way.
Well, I mean, then they have the IMF.
Yeah.
They have, the EU.
Yeah.
Would be another good example of that. The EU is very powerful. And then, of course, there's this OSC organization.
Well, what is that?
I can't remember what the letters stand for, but basically it's almost like it's China trying to create sort of a economic cooperative for Central Asia and Southeast Asia.
Okay,
and
so a little Asian bloc.
Yeah, the Asian Pacific realm. Strangely enough, I think. Well, let me think of. Well, for example, Russia is much more inclined to side with the Chinese Asian bloc than they are the EU.
Couple commies hanging out together.
Well,
Tavrish. My commie friend.
Well, nah. I mean, I guess because the EU is sort of, they traditionally see the EU as antagonistic towards Eastern European.
Oh, it could be the whole German connection. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah, because Germany pretty much is the cornerstone of the EU.
Yeah.
The Bundesbank actually in Frankfurt, I believe. It's the German National Bank, but it's also the EU European Central Bank is also in Frankfurt.
Oh,
so I mean, basically where all the money comes from and where the transfers are made and all that economic stuff, and the EU happens in Frankfurt, Germany. So
got a letter from a email. Excuse me, a letter. Got an email from a listener. Letter. This is my favorite conspiracy site. Been following it since '97. Check it out. The link is www.mt.net / little swavy line thing. Watcher
the tilde /
Is that what that's called? The tilde?
Yeah, the wavy line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. In Spanish, I mean, it's called that.
The tilde. Well,
Yeah.
there we go. I've learned something
I
today.
think it's called the tilde. Just like that, those two dots over the letters in German.
Is that what
it's
it
called
is?
the umlaut.
Umlaut, that's it.
That's the two dots, and of course it changes.
Antichrist in 2009. I'm looking at
I
this
don't
now.
see this. Hang on a second.
Temple rebuilt by 2012. Freemason symbols reveal they know. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is some interesting things.
I don't see the little line. Oh, there it is.
Temple at the center of time. Huh. New
Okay.
book.
What else?
Yeah, okay, I'll get out of this. I'm knocking stuff around here near the computer.
Tell everybody as well if they'd like to, they can email us any questions.
Oh, yeah, you can email us any questions you have at worldoftheunexplained@gmail.com. We can talk to you that way, or you can call us. Pick up the phone 877-722-7382. That's 1-877-722-7382, or for the easy to remember version, 1-877 the letter U and the number 2. We'll get you in touch with us. So, a lot of stuff to look at there. But I don't know. It seems like, to me anyway, it seems like things are all kind of lining themselves up for a end of days type scenario. I know I've said that before.
Yeah,
but
you have.
Yeah, it does. It seems more and more that something's on the verge.
It's a pretty cool site. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only got an interesting little crop circle pentagram thing.
All right.
Down here.
But
I think somebody actually made that.
We've got all kinds of weird stuff going on out there. A lot of conspiracy type movies coming out, things like that. It just, I don't know. Tell me. What are you thinking, T-Dog? I know what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
You're thinking it's time to remake the Leprechaun movie. And I am thinking you are absolutely right. Someone needs to remake that thing.
Yeah. No, I wasn't thinking that at all.
You weren't
Scott.
thinking that? I was
thinking about it for a moment. But then when you start talking about it, I stopped thinking about it.
Oh, man. Oh, well.
I didn't. You know how I am. I'm a little
I do.
defiant intellectually. But no, this is nothing to do with the end of the world.
Okay.
But it is, based in religion, I suppose.
I mean, it has nothing to do with the end of the world.
Well, I mean, I don't think so. But I mean, you remember the Old Testament? Remember that thing called the Old Testament?
I remember that thing called the Old Testament.
A lot of ancient
part of the Bible
stuff in it. Okay, Isaac's kids, Isaac's boys. There was Jacob and there was Esau. Remember them?
Yeah.
And Jacob sort of stole the birthright and everything.
I do remember the story, yeah.
What do you think of Esau?
What about him?
Well, I mean, think about it. What do you remember about Esau?
I don't remember much about him.
He's ridiculously hairy.
Was he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so much so as when
oh,
Jacob,
that's right. Yeah, because he had to put like a fur on his arm or something.
Yeah, like those not
him.
only his hands, but on his neck, on his whole body, like hair, like animal fur.
So are you saying Esau is a werewolf?
I don't know. But
First case of the lycanthrope.
yeah,
There
it
we
might
go.
be the first case of lycanthrope. You know, Esau might have been a lycanthrope, and then, or Esau might have had that
disease.
genetic condition. You know,
There
that
you
those
go.
acrobats in Mexico have.
Yeah.
But I just think it was very interesting because he's clearly not, you know, like appearance wise, he's not.
Not
normal.
a handsome dude.
Yeah, or he's not normal looking. You know, he's a very unusual looking person. I mean, to have hair to the point where Jacob had to wear sheepskins,
Sure.
so that Isaac would go, "Oh yeah, that's him."
Yeah, I
You
never
know?
thought
Nobody
about
has
that.
hair like that. Nobody has hair like an animal's.
The
hair.
Werewolf Bible Connection. I can see the book now in stores by Trent Lackey.
T-Dog. No, not T-Dog.
T-Dog Lackey.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. That's not very professional. But I mean, you know, it's interesting. And then there's another. And then I remember there's another. Somewhere in the Old Testament, gosh, I don't know. I don't know if it's the Catholic Old Testament or if it's in the Protestant. But there's
Catholics.
but there's some phrase about one of these biblical characters fleeing from his enemies, and basically it talks about how he goes up into the mountains and he learns how to hunt like the lion, and he learns how to live in caves, and he learns how to eat men. You know, so it's like some kind of a weird thing where this guy apparently gets very feral. And maybe if I could find that in the Bible somewhere, the Bible's a big book, and I'd have to do an awful lot of research. But I remember that line from one of the versions about this guy. And then basically, you know, it clearly seems like he is,
Descendant of Esau's.
yeah, or yeah, maybe, or that he's developing like what we say, lycanthropy, or something like it, you know. But I can't remember where it is in the Bible, unfortunately. So
I'm not reading that email.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay. Right here. Anyway.
Thank you.
So
yeah, that's excellent.
But you know, I mean,
Yeah, I probably should read that.
877-722-7382 with your questions, comments, or other.
Anyway, but that's just the whole thing about Esau. He's a weird dude, and I wonder about him.
You do.
And apparently some other people out there do
Other
as well.
people have been thinking
You know?
about
Would
it
it
too.
also be the connection to the abominable snowman?
Sasquatch?
Yeti or Sasquatch?
The Yeti.
That's crazy.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
maybe.
I tie that into anything, I tie it into just, I don't know, giants or, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, well, the giants and all those Nephilim, I mean.
There you
know.
go.
Yeah, but Esau is clearly of the bloodline of
Yeah,
Abraham.
you're right.
It's a totally different
right.
perspective. I mean, he is of the bloodline of Abraham. So, what's the deal with him? You know what I mean?
You know,
Whereas
I don't
the
know.
giants and stuff, you know, a lot of times they're Philistines or some other non-Hebrew people, you know, that had those characteristics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not a real expert on the Bible, but you know, this is just from what I read and what I remember.
I'm going to change gears for a second.
Yeah,
and talk
okay.
about
I was
something
just
else.
I was flinging that out.
No, just laying it down, chopping it up, all that.
No, taking it out.
I always mess that
Taking it out, laying it down and chopping it up. That seems a little weird, Scott. But if you take it outside and chop it up.
up. See, so you take it out and chop it up.
Clearly, you're talking about something, you know, ready to throw down.
Anyway,
Party.
we've got a guy scheduled. I don't know when the date is. I think it's sometime in June. Christopher Moon.
Okay.
And his deal is basically that he's got this device that's called Frank's Box. The guy named Frank.
Yeah. I remember.
Did I mention this before?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Edison.
Yeah, the Edison death
Speaking
machine.
with the dead
Yeah,
machine.
talk to the dead machine. And basically it's a setup that, from what I understand, and I really don't understand a lot about it, but from what I understand about it, there's a machine out there that his buddy Frank's made that basically will allow you to, using EVPs, you bounce this thing back and forth and you can talk, supposedly to spirits.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really wild. It has something to do with the manipulation of white noise, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and if you go to
Something like that.
YouTube and type in Chris Moon or Frank's Box, you can find him actually demonstrating the box to a group of students somewhere. It's kind of weird.
A little bit disturbing. That's cool, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just definitely disturbing. So I figured, hey, we'll have him on.
I wonder if it falls into the same kind of...
See if his box is a bunch of BS. I don't know. I don't put a lot of stock into the EVP thing. I just don't.
What's EVP stand for?
Electronic voice phenomenon.
Are you saying that there basically is another one of those demonic manipulations?
Well, if they are being talked to at all, I'm sure that's what it is. But I think half of them people, because when you hear some EVPs, you've got to listen so hard to even make, and they have to tell you what it's saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
I mean, that's sort of an issue of like what they call it, matrixing, isn't that it? Where you have to take a whole bunch of unrelated phenomena.
Yeah.
And put them together. It's sort of like you're looking at the clouds and you
see a bunny rabbit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You say, hey,
Don't you see the bunny? It's right there. Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
So that some of those EVPs do fall into that category for sure.
It just seems so many of them do, though.
But
I have heard some that I find are very disturbing. But in general, though, I've heard so many that are just they're so and it's just like okay, if I listen to it 70 times, I still just hear static.
Yeah.
And it trying to pick up other stations. I don't hear anything other than that.
Well, I remember when we interviewed
I know who you're thinking about.
Yes, I am.
The people that helped with the movie White Noise that wrote that book about EVP. And I can't think of their
why
names
don't I
either.
just look on the WOTU
It's only
website?
been 100 years ago.
Is that the WOTU website? Aren't
They might be. I don't know. You know how that site is.
And
You have
that
to
site would be.
worldoftheunexplained.com. But you'd have to check that. I'm not sure if they're on the old or the new. They're probably on the front page of the old. If you click the old link that says guest, you'll probably see them there. But
Right.
yeah, that was interesting stuff.
But they were talking about, when you do this, a lot of times it's just a lot of work involved in
Mm-hmm.
finding them.
Yeah, I agree.
And
well, listen, brother, we're coming up to the top of our little
Okay.
get out here. We're going to take a short break, guys. We'll be right back. You're listening to World of the Unexplained. Tonight we are guestless, so call us at 877-722-7382 and speak live with J. Scott and Trent Lackey. We'll see you in a bit.
this is World of the Unexplained. I'm Trent Lackey. Give us a call tonight. We have no guests, but we have an open mic, open email session.
Open lines.
Open lines. Just talk. The number is 1-877-722-7382, also known as 1-877-SCARE-YOU-TOO. Or email us at worldtheunexplained@gmail.com.
There we go.
Yep. So
Pass it on.
we were talking about conspiracy theories. We were talking about was Esau a werewolf? We were talking about basically those two things, and angels and demons. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
What else were we talking about?
All kinds of things. Frank's Box.
Frank's Box,
EVPs in general.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. The
Right.
Bohemian Grove. We didn't really get into that.
Well, Scott, tell them about the Bohemian Grove. From what you remember?
The Bohemian Grove is a place apparently where all the men that are in power go to once a year, and they have these little ceremonies out in California somewhere where they participate in this ritual. It's a mock ritual of like a mock sacrifice of a person. Mm-hmm. And all the powerful men supposedly have been to it before, including Jimmy Carter, both of the Bushes, a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
And Alex Jones went.
Orgies.
Yeah,
Is there
all kinds
orgy?
of craziness.
Yeah,
goes
I'm
on.
sure.
But apparently Alex Jones went to one of these things, and he's got a video out about the Bohemian Grove and all this. And a lot of radio talk shows hosts don't want to talk about it. They consider these people nuts and weirdos and things like that. And I don't know.
Oh, maybe they're just,
No, I mean, this all the whole 9/11 truther group, and it's all the same from the same cut. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
You think 9/11 was a conspiracy, Scott?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you think JFK was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald?
Oh, good point.
I don't know.
No, I don't think he was assassinated.
Shadow people, what are they? That looks like Michael Jackson. That silhouette.
It's our buddy Jason Offit.
Oh, is it? Okay, it looks like Michael Jackson.
Oh
then.
yeah, I'm gonna remember that, Scott, when we talk to him next time. Your shadow person looks an awful lot like Michael Jackson.
That's right, from the 80s. We know where you got that from,
yeah.
buddy. Oh, is that the cover of his book?
That is.
Yep. Have you seen The Hat Man? I told you there was this episode years ago that I saw as a child that really, really stuck with me and scared me for a long time. I know I've mentioned it more than once before on the show. I think it was an old, I want to say an old Twilight Zone episode when they were in color. Do you guys remember that in the 80s?
Yeah, I remember that.
And some deal, there was this bully kid or something. He picked on people. He went out at night one time to to get on the swing, and I remember just the end of it. This guy with a hat on and couldn't see his face, and he like strangled him. He was out there choking him with one hand on the swing. It was just really a creepy thing that's always just laid in my mind.
Bothers you a little bit.
That's one of those things. Yeah.
It kept you away from playgrounds for years.
It probably did. I don't know. At least at night,
Strangely enough, I've never seen Scott at a playground.
That's right.
Ever
And you won't.
Swinging on swings.
But the little things that you take with you from different experiences that you remember as you get older. When you were a kid, you see something that significantly bothered you.
Yeah, let me think of something that bothered me when I was a kid. Several things. Darth Vader.
Yeah, Darth Vader was bothersome.
Without a doubt. The fact, he's a very creepy guy in black. It's just scary. And that deep, scary voice. Sleestacks from Land of the Lost.
What?
You were scared of Sleestacks?
Yeah, man, they're scary.
What is that?
Scott, don't you ever remember Land of the Lost?
I don't remember Land of the Lost.
It's coming out as a new movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And
now.
they're
Okay.
like those lizard people.
Oh, yeah,
They're just eerie.
Those didn't bother me very much.
Well, Sleestacks bothered me.
Yeah, well.
Fine. And you had that movie Scarecrow, or it was a Scarecrow movie or something.
Scarecrow
it was it was a movie, and it was a scarecrow, but he came to life, and he was like a scarecrow, and he ran around and killed people.
There's so many of them now.
Well, this was totally from the. My gosh, is that still the picture on the website? Scott, we gotta change those pictures, man.
It is on one. That might not be our site directly. It could be another one.
I hope we gotta change those pictures. That's the worst picture of me ever.
It's better than the other one you provided me with.
What?
Yeah, it is. I think so.
What's wrong with the other picture?
Woman claims face of Jesus appeared on kitchen cabinet. Yeah. The same day that she listened to visiting author Don Piper give his purported glimpse of heaven from his book 90 Minutes in Heaven. By the way, Mr. Piper declined to be on our show. She got her own peek into the supernatural, she said. On May 17th, when she sat on her on Piper's Wichita Falls presentation of his 1989 car wreck near Dallas. Let's see here. She went home to find something she had never noticed before in the wood grain of one kitchen cabinet, a mysterious likeness of the face of Jesus. Strangely, it mirrored his image on a candle that she had sitting nearby.
It's a little eerie.
Yeah, I think people are seeing things.
Matrixing again.
Well, it's kind of like that cheese sandwich that sold on eBay for a lot of money. Was it Jesus or the Virgin Mary? I don't
Virgin
remember.
Mary, I believe.
And then so you saw everybody trying to sell cheese sandwiches on eBay, with the Virgin Mary.
I think it was a genius tactic for money making.
There you go.
And there was something else actually. It was a jar apparently that held a ghost. It was some kind of ghost container through magical purposes and contained a spirit in a glass jar. I think that was on eBay. Time.
They've got a lot of weird stuff on eBay.
And people were buying it. We should. I wouldn't sink to that level.
What? We should have them on here.
Yeah.
I knew you were going there.
We've
sank there before.
Like my vampire detector.
Yeah.
Where I'm not going to tell them what a vampire detector is, but just let's be honest with you. It's a really simple. And then you go like, oh, of course. Why didn't I think of that? But
I'm going to tell them. We used to have these little WOTU keychains
fine.
that we would send people, and it had a mirror on one side, and it was like a shape of a button, about the size of a button you would wear. And on the other side, it said "World the Unexplained." It had a little logo of the show.
We should have those just for fun, though.
We should. But anyway, you would turn around on the one side, it was a mirror, and the other side was the logo. So we called it, call us up, and we'll give you our free vampire detector, and it was just a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, shameless publicity.
Oh, we'll do it one day. I promise. We'll have those produced.
We're in talks now about coming out with a T-shirt that should be very, very funny.
Yeah.
So,
but people may need vampire detectors, Scott. That's a need that society may have because of the rash of vampire attacks.
The onslaught of vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, I was reading something the other day. Let me see if I can find it real quick, D. You're going to freak out about this. I was going to call the lady about the show. You remember the Bladenboro Vampire Beast?
Of course I know the Bladenboro Vampire Beast.
Well,
it's one of the first things we
ever talked about on the show.
Yeah.
And apparently someone at Duke University had put together some kind of small film class where they did a lot of films about the Vampire Beast of Bladenboro County. and I think it's going on at Duke.
That's awesome. I'll put people up to speed about that. The Bladenboro Vampire Beast was a very unusual sort of cryptid event that happened in the 50s around Christmas time in Bladen County, which is down by the coast of North Carolina. And effectively what it was, hunters had started to find their dogs and animals that had been exsanguinated. That is to say, the blood had been removed from their bodies completely. And that's the cause of death. And these things were all over the place in the marshes and swamps of Bladen County. And it caused such a huge stir that basically hunters started coming out there. The sheriff's department started getting involved. Newspapers started writing articles about it. It became a huge thing because no one knew what it was, and the killings just kept on going on. And it defied any kind of logic as far as any kind of animal attack. And the only eyewitness account was a farmer or hunter. I think it was a farmer. He was at his house, and he remembers seeing a black panther-like creature, 4 legs, 4-legged creature, huge and black, almost like a silhouette, and it was walking away from, or moving at a very fast pace away from his house. And that's the only physical description of the vampire beast. And then all of a sudden, after about 4 or 5 months, all the sightings stopped. Everything stopped completely. And that was the end of it. And to my knowledge, there hasn't been any other reports of the Bladenboro Vampire Beast or any kind of vampire beast in North Carolina beyond that point. It was very curious. And anyway, that's the whole story.
Apparently, the Center for Documentary Studies at Duke University did this thing where they talk about, they did a screening of a film called Anytown, USA, The Beast of Bladenboro. It was only a 9-minute documentary. But let's see, more than 50 years ago, residents of the small community of Bladenboro, North Carolina, were terrorized by a predator that viciously killed numerous domestic animals. The events of those few weeks in January 1954 were told through the accounts of 5 individuals who were children or teenagers living in Bladenboro at the time. They were joined by 2 carnivore behavior, quote, experts who speculate on what the creature could have been. I would love to talk to to some of these people, but there's a series of these films. One's 9 minutes, the other one's 10. It's called The Beast of Bladenboro Festival, Spirit of Bladen High, Nuts About Bladenboro, Diamond Dave's The Heart of Bladenboro, Cruising the Community, Big Hairy Beast of Bladenboro. And this is a course, apparently, that they were teaching fall of 08.
That's cool.
In their documentary studies.
Bladenboro, by the way, is a very, very small town.
Oh, yes.
It's incredibly small. A lot of the communities down there in eastern North Carolina, between, let's say, the east side of Raleigh, maybe Rocky Mount might be the next biggest town. And then beyond that, you have the Sandhills, which is basically farms and really, really, really small towns. And then you have the Great Dismal Swamps out there. And so between, let's say, Rocky Mount and the Outer Banks, where you have more tourism and bigger towns, there's really a whole lot of nothing out there. It's kind of crazy.
Let's see. The following is a guest article by a former reporter at the Bladen Journal. The coverage of the beast became a real monster for Bladenboro. Let's see, by Jefferson Weaver, staff writer. Let's see here. I'm looking for something good here.
I see that you're on Cryptomundo, it looks like.
I am. That's good site, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Something in the Woods. Oddly enough, the first reported attacks by the beast didn't occur in Bladenboro, but near Clarkton. I don't know where Clarkton is, Trent, do you?
Mm-mm. It's a small town, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. A resident reported a large animal attacked one of his dogs on the night of December 29th, 1953. News accounts differ on the fate of the pet. When Johnny Voss's 2 dogs were found killed New Year's Eve, 1953, the beast had arrived in Bladenboro. The following day, 2 dogs were attacked at the farm of Woody Storms. Wilmington Morning Star reported the dogs were mauled and sort of eaten up. While no killings were reported January 2nd, 2 more dogs reported dead a day later. Bladen resident Malcolm Frank told officers and reporters that he had seen the beast. Frank told the Star he saw an animal, quote, like a bear or panther over 4 feet long with a round face, shiny eyes, and large teeth. James Pittman told authorities and another newspaper he saw a smaller animal, grabbed his gun, tracked it over a mile, never getting a clean shot. Let's see here. A little publicity never hurts a small town.
Well, that's true. Good or bad.
Let's see here. Timing of the story just after Christmas. Let's see, when the newspaper traditionally have to struggle for news guaranteed that it would have picked up by wire services and larger newspapers. It really put Bladenboro on the map for a while, said Sam Pate, a resident of Bladenboro, a member of the Bladenboro Historical Society. Vampire Beast with bloodlust at large. Yeah, wow. That's amazing that 1953, something like that, coming through a small rural, town in North Carolina.
That's true. And the thing about it is, there's been no other accounts of it ever. Which makes it even more curious. Because if it was like a traditional type of new creature invading, you know what I mean? Getting in the territory, I don't know, somebody letting loose some kind of Sumatran blood tiger or something. I just made that up. But, if it was like a new species of animals, then you would obviously see more sightings of them, or, you'd find the bodies. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, it just stopped, and there was no more of it.
It was it. It was over as soon as it had begun, pretty much.
I mean, it's one of the more curious things here in North Carolina. Kind of obscure, really. It's not one of the more famous North Carolina legends, like Little Red Man or Devil's Tramping Ground, And I think that's why I thought it was kind of cool. But how did we get on the subject?
I have no idea.
Right.
Just going from one paranormal topic to another.
Oh, okay.
Weaving it in, taking it out, and chopping it up. If you'd like to give us a call, our number here is toll free 877-722-7382. That's toll free in U.S. and Canada. 1-877-SCARE-U2. That's the letter U, the number 2. And we'll put you right on with us, and we can talk about anything paranormal that's been going on, that's been happening.
Or email us.
worldoftheunexplained@gmail.com.
That's true.
Or visit our site, www.worldoftheunexplained.com. That's a long site to
it is
to type in. It was a long. I don't know why I picked that like that.
Unexplained. Yeah, I wonder if you can make a hyperlink or something like WOTU.
No, I could point WOTU.com to the same one if I were to buy that.
Yeah,
but I haven't. So
Great.
somebody else will buy it. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy WOTU.com and put something else up at this place.
The Women of Ontario Teachers Union would find it. The Wellington Ornithological Taxidermist
Union
United.
That's awful.
We are the
world.
We are the
outsourcing
uglies. World Outsourcing
Taxidermy Union.org.
Oh my gosh.
That's
anyway,
horrible.
There's a lot of organizations, real or fake, that might take WOTU.
Just it reminds me of the whole WWF. You remember that was a big thing. World
Wrestling Federation,
yeah.
World Wildlife Federation.
World Wildlife Fund.
Yeah, well, I think the World Wildlife Fund had a couple of years on them.
They did, and they went to court and they won.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
That's why it's WWE now.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, because they did have it first.
They did, yeah.
So
that was a big deal, man. You're taking our slogan, man, and we're WWF, not you, not Hulk Hogan, not Hulkamania. We're the World Wildlife Fund.
We love panda bears.
That's right. And we've been here longer than you.
We buy rainforest to save the planet.
That's
you
right.
guys just throw people around to lift weights, talk about trash.
Let me see. Let me go to.
I don't know.
Let me type in WWF just on Google and see what we get. See what pops up first. World Wildlife Fund. Yep. And then it goes down to WWE.
Is that the next one?
That's the next thing. Yeah, search for WWE. World Wrestling Entertainment.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Not really paranormal at all. Honestly, that's more just kind of a boring legal debate about a couple of letters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Way to go, Scott.
Well, I figured it would be. Let me type in WWF and wrestling. Let's see what we get there.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's descended to this.
It has. World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yes, give us a call and please keep Scott from doing this.
YouTube.
Oh gosh,
horrible.
I wonder if there. You know what? That's true. I wonder if there's any famous ghosts of dead wrestlers.
Oh my gosh.
You know, that's the other thing too. You never hear of a haunted McDonald's.
That's true.
You know, or a haunted Winn-Dixie. Well, maybe Winn-Dixie because they closed down, but a haunted Walmart. Well, mainly because Walmart's never closed anymore. Might be part of the problem. But you know what I'm saying? None of those places. Or markets. Or, I don't know. You just don't see an awful lot of ghosts hanging around fast food places or markets. In fact, to my knowledge, there aren't any.
Why is that?
I don't know. Because maybe people hate working there. You know?
I don't know.
And they don't want to spend their afterlife hanging around there. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you know, why is there such a deal with cemeteries? That's
true. What's that now?
I said, but you hear about haunted
schools.
You do hear a lot about haunted schools. Those are pretty common. Haunted churches, you know, hotels. A lot of hotels. I don't know. Give us a call or email us. What do you think about it? In the last couple of minutes here on our hour. That's a good question. Or if you've heard of a haunted McDonald's or Burger King or any other kind of fast food
haunted
place.
Burger King.
Yeah.
I'm having a Big Mac attack. Haunted McDonald's, you know.
This guy, yeah, Big Mac. I want the Whopper.
With cheese.
With cheese.
Anybody even pay attention?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you hear that? Nah, this job stinks. Yeah, man. You know, that's pretty much. You know.
Yeah, you don't hear. You hear of haunted cemetery. Why would if you were dead? Why would you want to hang out at a cemetery?
That's true.
Why aren't there more haunted bars? Or more haunted strip clubs. You know. I mean,
that's exactly
seriously.
right. Is there a haunted strip club? Because there should be.
There should be.
There's a lot of times, you know, you find people meeting violent ends at strip clubs.
There you go.
And having a good time at strip clubs. So
That's
you got
true.
a whole bunch of stuff. There's drinks involved.
Yeah,
you're right.
There's naked women.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I guess if Jay Scott were dead,
I'd be at a haunted strip club. If I'm stuck here,
he would haunt a strip club.
I would haunt a strip club.
Which strip club in particular?
I'd move around.
You know, this is the second time that we brought up the topic of strip clubs. In fact,
is it? Mm-hmm. Tonight or
nah? Just in general.
Haunted bar in Greensboro.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, D.
Where is that?
Our friends of the Black Cat Tours. Remember?
Right.
Yes. Okay. Oh yeah. I remember.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into the details about that, but you're right. Sometimes those old time bar and restaurants, you find they're haunted. Strip clubs, I don't know. That might be another one that you don't see a lot of ghosts at, but you should. What are you looking up, Scott?
I'm looking up WOTU. I was just looking to see what was going on.
It's the Ontario Teachers Union, isn't it?
No, we're actually at Wilmington, North Carolina, a travel guide podcast. They've got L.A. Marzulli Part 2 and Usama Dakdak. Huh.
Wait a minute.
That was weird.
Yeah, that's ours.
Yeah, it's ours. Somebody put it up there.
Well, thanks.
Whoever
in Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you. I didn't even have anything to do with Wilmington, but you know.
I know.
That's cool.
It's weird. I don't know why we're on here.
That's very
strange.
WOTU's
podcast. We're on the Wilmington, North Carolina podcast channels, and we're up there.
Dog.
WOTU's podcast.
Thank you, Wilmington.
Yeah, Wilmington. Way to go.
Yeah, excellent. We should
I just had to search our name. I didn't type in World of the Unexplained. I just typed in WOTU to see what all would pop up.
Oh my gosh, we have like no time left.
I know.
Where did it all go?
Where did it
That's
go?
a good question, D. But yeah, you know, between now and next time, guys, if you think of haunted fast food restaurants, strip clubs, or bars, you know, let us know. That's curious. And if you think Esau was a werewolf, let us know that too. Or if you find that Bible verse I'm talking about, you know, that would be great.
So you don't know if that actually came from the Old Testament or the pseudepigrapha or the Apocrypha.
I'm pretty sure it's the Old Testament. But I'm wondering which version, you know, or what part. You know what I'm saying? It might be one of those other sources that didn't make it.
Like I said, the pseudepigrapha or the Apocrypha.
Right.
So one of those in there somewhere.
It's curious.
You've got an issue going on. You're not sure.
Yeah.
Where did you read this yourself?
Yeah, I did.
How recently?
Gosh, it was about 5-6 years ago.
Okay, yeah. No, it's not nothing you're going to just, oh, yeah, I remember it's here.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a long time ago. Sort of like that Blur song. I can't remember where it came from.
I understand.
I'm still looking for that one. But anyway, without buying the album.
Okay. You check us out on the web, worldoftheunexplained.com, worldoftheunexplained.com. Email us here, worldoftheunexplained@gmail.com. This is Jay Scott, one of your JD hosts on this station.
And this is Trent Lackey. We're coming to you from Kernersville, North Carolina, a small town where we talk about big things.
Sorry, I can't say I'm the only JD DJ now because they've got Neil Bortz now.
Yep.
Yeah. He was a lawyer.
So long, guys. We'll see you next week.